Welcome back to part 2 of the soundtrack edition of 90's Rock in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
That brings us to the next movie soundtrack, The Faculty. But the key to this whole CD is this has Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd covered by a band called Class of 99, which is the guitar player of Rage Against the Machine and the vocalist of Alice in Chains.
Morello?
Yeah, and Tom Morello and Lane Staley.
Yes.
And from what all I can find, his final studio performance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a lot of 70s covers.
Wait a second. But then again, maybe not. So I'm 18 by Creed. So
Yeah,
like
Creed, which I like.
But then the kids aren't all right. So not a Who cover.
No, that's off of their Offspring.
And I'm sorry, I gotta just do this. Pete Townsend, I'm sorry, man. Dude. What else do we have on here? Yeah, Medication by Garbage.
Do you know Pete? Like, what is the...
What?
You work at a record store.
It's a tough relationship to Who. I work at a record store and I can't front his records. Personally, I haven't been able to do it in 10 years.
Creed covering I'm 18, which is like Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And then...
track off $1 Billion Babies.
Yeah, and I love that.
Oh, no. It's off of Love It to Death.
And then you have Soul Asylum covering School's Out by Alice Cooper.
Oh, wow, you have a couple. Cool.
It's 90s bands covering 70s bands. And then you do have Stabbing Westward on here, but you can skip that track. So just check that out. Now, moving on. This one was this was a recent discovery.
End of Day.
Yes, End of Days. This End of Days, this was a song, an album that I just recently discovered.
Me too.
And yeah, you discovered it tonight.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago. This has a Korn song on there that's kind of a rare. Most people haven't heard of it. It's got Limp Bizkit. It's got Prodigy, Rob Zombie, an Eminem song back.
I like Rob a lot. Rob's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Rob's cool.
Heroes.
It's the Super Beast remix, and it has Guns N' Roses, the first track that they came out with after they... Remember in the late 90s how they sort of... Axl was trying to say that they reunited, but
Axl was trying to say they were still like a good band.
Yeah, but and he wanted to sound like... He wanted to sound like 9 Inch Nails, basically, is what the word on the street was.
Right.
And then if you hear it, it's called...
Because they were selling records and his band wasn't.
Exactly. So, and he came out with Oh My God, and I do like that song. This is pretty much the only Guns N' Roses song I do like.
That's the truth. I'll admit I'm not a big fan of late 90s music like Korn.
Okay, see, and
metal,
well,
but
you
know what? It's okay. But,
that was more.
If you dig that, that's
yeah.
cool.
Well, you were like 5 years older than me, so the later 90s is what I really dig a little more. I love the grunge too.
We're 5 years apart. You're 40, I'm 45, so we're separated.
We're gonna cut that. So anyway,
don't be ashamed of your age.
I'm not. I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag if I'm doing 90s rock in 2022.
There's wisdom in our age. Like, no, I there's always been. I like that we're talking about this because I can't stand ageism. Like, if you know what ageism is.
Yeah,
I can't stand when younger
stupid.
people judge older people for being simply physically older. And vice versa, when older people judge younger people for being, whatever. Oh, you're not as experienced in the world as me, and you're not as wise.
Or when
I think we both have things.
Whenever people that are the same age, judge each other for being the same age.
Yes. Wait, do they?
If you like the late 90s, this one will kick your balls right in the dirt.
Like Arnold will.
Yeah, Arnold. This is like Arnold Schwarzenegger uppercutting your eardrums.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger uppercutting your scrot.
Yeah, he's like, get to the chopper.
Sorry.
I just want to say that the Eminem song on here, it's really like, if you like Eminem's first 2 records, it's like an outtake from one of those records. Like, it sounds like that it could be on there, and it's awesome. So,
I always felt that Eminem was just like a total full of himself. I'm sorry, I don't know.
We both are down with the 90s, but you're more early 90s, like, clicked with you. I'm later 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Kurt Cobain sitting across from Fred Durst. You know what I mean?
And there's cool stuff from the late 90s.
We got to bring out Jim.
Yes, thank you.
The king.
Yes.
Jim Morrison
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Doors movie soundtrack. Any thoughts?
Oh my God, that's like practically the best movie made in the '90s. This CD, this got me into the Doors really.
The Ghost song.
Oh, the Ghost song, exactly, dude.
Where they took it.
Shake dreams from your hair, my pretty child, my sweet one. Choose the day and choose the sign of the day. The day's divinity. First thing you see, right? I mean, it's just great poetry. It's as good as gems.
Is everybody in?
Yeah, the ceremony's about to begin. Yeah.
Would you agree that that sort of made the Doors a '90s band in a way? Like they were,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is interesting to note.
Completely.
You know, the final soundtrack that I think that should be mentioned here, not last but not least, is The Crow.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't have a copy of
That
that.
one's pretty fucking.
I don't have a copy of that right
That's
now.
another one where I heard the soundtrack before I saw the movie. That's how big the soundtrack was.
Yeah.
It was huge.
You know what? I don't have a copy of that.
And then Brandon Lee.
I'm gonna buy.
You know, on set, that was a big deal. I mean.
All right, let's stick to the music.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to talk about what's going on outside of it because I think it's important.
It is, and it did. And you know what? I'm getting online right now while we're doing this.
We're talking the music.
I'm gonna.
And you're in charge of the show. So
I'm
that's
gonna.
cool, but I wanna.
Well, thank you for that.
Sure.
I'm gonna look up the Crow soundtrack right now while we're talking about it, and I'm gonna buy it because it's that. It means that much.
I'm rich like a.
I
don't.
Okay, so the Crow soundtrack starts out with the Cure and them doing a song called "Burn." You remember that? And that one just.
Okay.
As soon as
I'll be honest. The Cure song on that album, though, I'm happy for them that the Cure did the first song for Crow.
Every night I burn.
It has
Every night
never.
I call your name.
That song has never really stuck in my mind like that third or fourth track that I'm talking about.
I think it's Machines of Loving Grace.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Machines of Loving Grace. That song is just, to me, that song is the track for that whole soundtrack.
Then let's move past the Cure and their crappy song. And the second track on there. God, what is that one?
The Stone Temple Pilots. I'm not a big fan.
Oh yeah, dude. Here's the thing.
But I know it's on there.
I don't.
It's crashing in my car.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Cruising in my car.
I'm just not a huge Stone Temple Pilots fan. They're kind of like, to me, like Pearl Jam meets Nirvana, but like the white trash version.
And I love that. Second.
White trash home show. I'm not trying to be a.
Yeah, I know that. That's actually one of my favorite songs. That soundtrack, it also has 9 Inch Nails covering Joy Division.
Mm-hmm.
It has.
You're right.
A redo of
yes. Yeah, well, I like that you brought that up because I like that Trent Reznor did that. I like that he covered a Joy Division song. I think it helped turn people on to Joy Division. I think Joy Division deserves all the love in the world. And at the time, believe it or not, like a lot of people didn't know who Joy Division was.
And this soundtrack had a Rage Against the Machine song on there that was exclusive to this. And that is why right now, people, alive, I'm going to buy this right now. You see that? Buy it now. Dude.
The future is now.
Your order is in. So I just bought that movie soundtrack right now. A live purchase. Because you talked me into it with all of your mumbo jumbo and your spiel and all of this crap.
I do work at a record store, so
That's how good this man is.
My juju on him.
This man just sold me a record. He sold me a record just now. That's going to wrap it up for 90s Rock in 9 minutes, the movie soundtrack edition. Be sure to go check them all out. Check out the movies that they're from.
Goodbye,
and
goodbye, America. Goodbye, world. Or good night, or whatever the hell. Hello, little kids from 28, 32, or whatever the hell you are.
You know what? I think we're gonna go out like that. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment. You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was a strong ending.
Yeah, I couldn't top that.
I was just trying to
One
be
day,
honest.
that's really someone in that year is gonna watch that video.
28, 32.
And they're gonna like,
There's
wow.
really, if we're even, right, if there's even an Earth, right?
Man,